Welcome to the Wrestle Story. We discuss all things wrestling, the legends of the past, the superstars, the present, and the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday after Raw, every Wednesday after AEW and NXT, and every Friday after SmackDown. Tonight we have AEW and NXT, as well as we will talk about things happening in the world.
Sure. Sounds great to me.
Yeah.
All right. I forgot to do this before we started,
Yeah.
but yo. We ready?
How you doing, James?
Tonight, overall, I thought NXT won by a smidge.
Yes. Thank you for the follow, COVID-19.
Yeah,
we
what
appreciate it. And we are affected in many ways, and I have plenty of toilet paper in my house as of right now. Not because I went out and did any special shopping, just because, you know, we always have plenty of toilet paper in the house, because when you have a house the size of ours, you have plenty of toilet paper.
So, guys, tonight, NXT, AEW, I thought both shows were decent. I think NXT was a smidge better just because of the way it ended. AEW wasn't bad, but it just wasn't... Neither show, like, blew me out of the water, you know? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
Did you stack up on hand sanitizer? No, but I have lots of soap.
So, we're going to start with AEW, like we always do.
And I'm doing everything you're not supposed to do. I just scratched my face. You're not supposed to touch your face. Do not do that. You guys heard about the NBA being canceled because of the virus. Yes, I did. We are actually going to talk about that, Justin, at the end of the show. How dare they do that to Dakota? Hope she takes me out. At least you're not panic buying like the nutters over here. We got. I won't say we're panic buying, but we do have lots of water because I knew that was gonna go, and we don't drink our water here in the house because it's like crap. So we buy bottled water. So
we bought like 45 cases.
We are stocked up on water.
Not 45 cases literally, but we did buy quite a few cases.
Yeah, we have quite a few cases of water.
So guys, we're gonna start with AEW, cause you know, AEW.
Yes.
AEW. So AEW. We start off with Cody versus Santana. Lance Archer and Jake the Snake show up. I wasn't quite sure why we did this at the beginning of the show. Like, the placement of it was a little confusing to me because, like, I don't know.
It work now.
It's
interesting.
It's weird. I thought the placement of this was very odd just because of the fact that they did bring out Lance Archer. And I figured they would have made a bigger deal out of it than what they did. And it was a very, like, nonchalant, like, Lance Archer and Jake the Snake literally just walked through the crowd and sat in some chairs, and that was about it.
Yeah, well, I think it was
like,
just,
I think when they told
the
us that Lance Archer was coming to AEW, and I thought they were gonna make, like, a big thing out of, like, Jake the Snake's, who is Jake the Snake's, who's his person that he's bringing in, you know? I thought it was going to be a bigger deal than it was, and it really wasn't.
I thought it was okay with this. I think you bring him out, he's scouting. He told you last week he had someone he was going to have, and
well, yeah, but, like, I don't know. I just thought they were going to make a bigger deal out of it than they did. So, and it was at the beginning of the show, which, again, made no sense to me.
So maybe this is just the beginning. Maybe he actually has more than one client.
Maybe, I guess. But I don't know. It was a very odd way to start the show, I thought. I didn't think this was going to
Question. Any women besides Nyla? Yes.
Yeah, there were several women on the show tonight.
Chris Statlander. Sheeta. Priestley.
So, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting this segment to be at the beginning of the show, but it was. Lance Archer and Jake the Snake show up. Cody ends up winning the match. Ortiz tries to attack Cody after the match, but Arn and the Elite then save him. Jericho then shows up on a video. He says, you might have won tonight, but don't forget, we will beat you up in blood and guts in 2 weeks, because we're the Inner Circle, and we told you that we are not playing around. So, yeah. He said, also, you might be asking, where is your brother? Right, Matt? Is that what you're wondering right now? And Jericho then goes on to say, unfortunately, he's a little stuck. He's a little stuck right now.
Yes.
And they then pan to...
That's code for we are beating the crap out of him.
They then pan to Nick being crushed under, I don't know what else to call it aside from a garage door.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what it was.
Yeah.
It's, you know...
It was pretty cool.
And he had, like, blood coming out of his mouth and stuff, and they made a huge deal out of it, and he went... And he was taken to the hospital, and I don't really know what was said after that. There was really no update.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I did too. I guess this is where the big spot of the segment was supposed to be, was this. You know, Nick getting crushed under the door. But, like, again, I felt like just the whole thing, it was good. I liked the segment. I thought it was decent. But just, like, Lance Archer and Jake the Snake showing up at the beginning was just a little odd to me, because, like I said, I thought they were going to make a bigger deal out of that than they did. And with what they did with the segment, I think having Nick get crushed by the door and being taken in an ambulance to the hospital and stuff really overshadowed the fact that Lance Archer and Jake the Snake showed up. You know?
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So, you know, a good segment overall, but it was a little confusing to me.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was bringing him out right away. I didn't have an issue with. It was a good segment, I thought.
Like I said, it was a good segment. It was just a little confusing to me, just because I wasn't like 100%.
I just wanted a big story, big pop, and I was cool with this.
Well, based on what they said and the way they were like, "Oh, we have Lance Archer coming." Like
Lance Archer does not need a manager. Yes, but I think that with him and Jake the Snake together, I think could be awesome.
I don't know. Didn't make a whole lot of sense to me as to why they did that at the beginning.
Yeah, okay. Because they didn't want to do it at the end.
But, like, you know what I mean, though? I feel like the whole Nick thing kind of overshadowed the whole Lance Archer and Jake the Snake thing.
Well, it might have, but it's leading up to...
I mean, if that's what they wanted, then cool, but, like... I don't know. Well, it just, the placement of it is what made it weird.
It was fine. It was one of those things, hey, this is what we got, this is what we're doing.
Well, but so you see, by the end of the show, I had totally forgotten about the whole Lance Archer and Jake the Snake thing, because there was no big deal made.
I didn't forget.
There was nothing, and so that's why I was just, it was a little confusing to me, just like the way, the placement of it, kind of the way they did it. I like what they did with the whole Nick thing, but... It was a little weird.
I thought it was good.
So then we got Nyla Rose and Bea Priestley versus Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. Man, I haven't really liked Shida in the past, but I like Shida. She's very good in the ring. She's probably the best out of all, you know, the other three women that they put in this match. Bea Priestley is very close to Shida. They're both very good. That's that. Nyla and Bea win the match. And then after, B. Priestley attacks Nyla and is like, give me a call. I want a shot at the title. So.
Yes.
There it is. So B versus Nyla should happen in the future. I'm excited for it. Should be a good match. Hopefully they don't squash Priestley, because that would be stupid. But I'm just saying. That's just me. Whatever. We then get a Christopher Daniels video in the Dark Order style. He says, I'm challenging Evil Uno and Stu Grayson to singles matches. When they both lose, and the Exalted One does not show up to save them, finally everyone will see that they are losers, and the Exalted One does not exist. I liked that he made fun of them. I liked that I liked this whole segment.
Yeah, it was good. It was interesting, and I kind of like the way that they did this tonight.
Agreed.
So I thought it was really good with how they handled it. Britt is amazing. Yes, definitely.
So I like this.
I think Chris Statlander will probably there's a chance that she may eventually be a champion.
But not right now.
No.
She needs to work on those kicks.
Yeah.
Just saying. She does. So I like the whole thing. I like that he's kind of mocking the Dark Order. I like that he doesn't think the Exalted One is real. So then when the Exalted One, a plot twist.
Yeah.
Christopher Daniels is like the Exalted One and is like, haha.
It's kind of and this is what.
They could go in a million different directions, and they could really play this out where everybody thinks that Christopher Daniels is the leader of the Dark Order, but then plot twist, he's not. He was never working with the Dark Order. He just said he was.
Last week, it was kind of weird because I thought last week he came out with the black robe on, and it was the last week he did that? Or the week before?
The pay-per-view.
Yeah. Comes out with the robe on and face covered, and I'm thinking, okay, he's turning. And he didn't. So maybe that was just kind of a twist to say, okay,
we're not just going to straight up tell you the Exalted One.
He might be the one. I mean, I don't know. They're doing a good job of keeping people on the edge of their seats on who this is. And they're keeping the storyline interesting.
Agreed. We then get Jurassic Express versus MJF, Butcher, and Blade. Thought this was a decent match. I feel like, I don't know, Luchasaurus was like crapped on during the entire match. He really didn't get to show off much because
I don't understand. Well, first off, I don't understand the whole thing with Luchasaurus. They try and they go out of their way, in my opinion, to try and put out Marco Stunt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh look, the little guy can do it.
Mm-hmm.
They need to stop doing that.
I like Jurassic Express, and I like Marco Stunt, and I like Jungle Boy, and I like Luchasaurus. I think they're a great team. I think it's a very fresh new thing that a lot of people really enjoy because they're very fun, bubbly. They're a happy team, However, currently the way they've been using them is just a little confusing.
Yeah, I don't.
If you're trying to build them up as an actual credible team, I don't necessarily know if doing this with them, sorry, that made no sense. Doing what they're doing with them is the way to do it. I don't know. I felt they made not that it made Luchasaurus look weak. But, he really, he's just been beat on a lot over the last several weeks, and I feel like they talk about him as, the big, rawr dinosaur dude. He's supposed to be, the big strong dude of the group.
Yeah.
And that's not the way they represent him. So it's just odd. It's very odd what they're doing with them, but I don't know. I think they need to change some things up. So MJF, Butcher, and Blade win. Whoop-de-doop-dee. Awesome. Cool. We then have a Darby video. What a weird day. Corona Mania is running wild. Hey, Scott. What's up? So we then get a Darby Allin video.
I'm actually looking at Twitter right now, trying to keep up on things that they've put out, things that are being put out.
So, Darby.
It's also, we'll talk about it at the end of the show.
Ding. So, Darby. Essentially this video is like, he is there, but he has Jericho's face kind of like overlaid, and Jericho's eyes are like all X'd out. And then he has his body bag, and he's laying in it, and it's Sammy Guevara's face that he put on it with his eyes X'd out. It was a cool video. It was very fun. I am so excited for another Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara match. That's what I'm excited for, because I love those. It was such a good.
Oh God, Coronamania. Hey, how's it going, observing stuff?
It was a good video, and I liked it, and it was cool, and I just love Darby Allin.
Coronamania is gonna win out over Wrestlemania, I believe.
I think it's gonna sell out.
I think it will.
So, we then get Britt Baker in an interview. She comes out at first. She says, "I want to remind all of you to pursue anything and everything."
I don't know if you noticed, but COVID-19 has followed us on Twitch.
True passion for it.
Just crazy.
So Britt says, "I want to remind all of you to pursue anything and everything you have a true passion for. We can all achieve greatness. That's why I'm here, to be your role model."
WrestleMania is getting canceled. Becky's still going to be champion. Tom Hanks got it. J-Bone. Hope Matt Hardy is the leader of the Dark Order. I don't think he's going to be the leader of the Dark Order. At least not initially. NBA season gets canceled. Yes, lots of stuff to talk about. We're going to get through the wrestling part, and then we're going to talk about
life.
Life.
We're going to have deep, meaningful conversation about life.
Deep, meaningful conversations.
So.
And I will not spread misinformation. I will just give you the facts. I have a reason for saying that. I will explain that too.
So.
The death of the NBA. Could be, James.
Tony says, "I'm not so sure you're making a whole bunch of friends here, Britt." Big Swole then comes out. She says, "This is what you do now, apparently. All you do is talk." Britt then says, "I don't even know why you're here, what you're doing here, because the only person in your house who the wrestling world cares about is your boyfriend." And then Big Swole's like, "Sorry, sis. I'm married, baby." And then Britt throws coffee in Swole's face, and I thought this was so great and so excellent, and I loved it. I love that they kind of took shots at the fact, Cedric Alexander and Big Swole, they're married, and Britt and Adam Cole are dating, and I loved the whole thing. It was so good, and I loved it. And I think this is the best storyline that Cedric Alexander's been involved in a long time.
Well, this was cool. I like the way they did this. It was funny what they did with this. It was interesting. They're bringing WWE in it. Well, they're bringing WWE in it, but they're bringing, their boyfriends into it. So, and since everybody knows who their boyfriend is, or are,
yep.
then, it's kind of interesting.
It's really fun. I loved it.
That's funny.
I loved this whole segment. I thought it was good. I'm so glad.
It was a cool segment.
I think a Britt Baker and Big Swole feud should be
Cedric Alexander is in AEW. No.
But he should be.
But Big Swole is his wife.
Exactly. Which is why I'm like, dude, this is the best feud that Cedric Alexander's had in a long time.
Maven is Dark Order. Gleen has got the facts. Yes, I have the facts.
So,
I have all the facts.
And
I only spread facts and not opinions. Again,
so
I will tell you why.
So we then get Joey Janela Private Party versus Death Triangle. Death Triangle wins. Death Triangle wins.
Death Triangle wins.
Do I know English?
At the pain
Death
that they felt after
Triangle wins. Death Triangle wins. That was
Did you
so
find any news
dumb.
on the revival?
No.
I have not.
Haven't seen anything. I know they're not happy. That's for sure. But I haven't seen anything other than that.
Yeah.
A Death Triangle won, not wins. Guys, English lessons
Wash your hands.
with Maven.
Yeah.
English lessons.
That's what all those reporters are saying, that guy from the NBA touched their mic because he was leaving the other day, are saying, if that guy would have just washed his hands, I might not be sick. But now I have to touch the mic, and I'm going to get sick.
So, Dustin then has an interview. So someone has to step up, and that will be me. Paige, I will be your partner tonight, whether you like it or not. So suck it up. We then got Jon Moxley interview. He essentially just talks about how he's injured, but he's not going to elaborate on those injuries because he doesn't want to tell the Inner Circle what they are and blah, 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 blah. And then we get Adam Page and Dustin versus Jericho and Sammy. Adam Page is a little annoyed that Dustin had offered to be his tag team partner because I'm pretty sure he wanted to do it by himself. Unfortunately, it's not the way it worked. Page ended up getting the win, I believe, and then the Inner Circle leaves the Elite lane for
I would agree,
the
Eliza.
second week in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, couple things here. First, I like Death Triangle's intro. Cool. Second, this is like the second or third week in a row that we've seen the Inner Circle, like, killing people on their tables. And, not gonna lie, it's really made me...
He turned into Stone Cold, got the beer virus.
It's really made me not like AEW as much lately.
Yeah.
The last, like, 3 weeks.
I thought it was okay.
Because, like, the endings have literally been the same. The only thing that's been different is it's a different guy going through the table each week. Last week it was Moxley. This week it was, like, Page. I don't know.
I don't know that I like the way they're ending it, but as far as that
the
part of it,
rest of the shows have been good, but like the ending the last couple weeks has been like the same thing, just with a different guy, which I don't like. I don't like that they're just reusing the same thing.
That's like some of the stuff that WWE
They
does.
need to come up with something different and change it up a bit.
Yes, I agree.
So it's not the same ending every week, because I'm not the only person that thinks this. I was scrolling through Twitter after AEW ended, and several other people were like, "Dude, don't come up with a different way to end the show."
They should just
you can let the Inner Circle be on top at the end of the show. Just don't continuously keep having them throw guys through tables in literally the exact same fashion you did 2 weeks before.
Leave them laying out in the ring.
Like, you don't need to do it the same way.
Yeah.
Every time.
Walmart was completely sold out of toilet paper, sanitizer, and bleach. That's because people are afraid, James. Nia Jax is joining SmackDown Friday night.
She'd be better used on Raw.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does matter. She needs to go to Raw and not SmackDown because...
Nowhere's got sanitizer, folks. Are buying about 10 bottles at a time. Like I said, Nutters.
We bought like 4 at a time.
Yeah.
3 at a time.
But again, we have like 98 people in our house.
That is true. They were big bottles, so we can refill the small bottles. So, you know.
I'm curious. Colin, I'm curious. Since Trump came out and said that, basically, no travel from Europe, but the UK is okay. How hard is it to go from Europe to the UK to fly? Do you have any idea?
Please enlighten us.
We can talk through it must be a UK thing then.
No, there are people here that are stocking up like crazy.
Yeah, there's people here that are stocking up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't stocked up with that, but we have stocked up on water. We haven't stocked up on like a ton on.
And canned fruit.
Yeah.
Canned fruit is delicious. And I eat that at lunch.
We do have canned fruit.
Yum. So NXT tonight. Also thought this was okay show. Wasn't bad. The best part of the show was the end. It was epic.
Yeah.
So, we start off with Keithley versus Cameron Grimes. This is an NXT North American Championship match. I really had hoped that Cameron Grimes would not win, and I was correct. Cameron Grimes did not win. Good. Lee retained. Awesome, great. That's the way it should have been. Damian Priest attacks him after with a the police stick thing. What do you call that? A nightstick? Like the big boss man. He was all like, cha-cha! And Keithley was all like, ah! And then Dijakovic comes out to help. But then Lee powerbombs Dijakovic into the floor because I suppose he thought that Dijakovic was the one who did it because Priest ran out before.
Yeah, it makes it interesting.
Lee could have seen it was him and not Dijakovic. So that makes for an interesting storyline. We're probably going to get like a triple threat match at TakeOver Tampa, which I don't love because I just want it to be Keithley versus somebody.
I want Grimes to win. Priest better beat him because it's Finn versus Walter at TakeOver. Yeah, I think I agree. From here to the U.S. usually takes 9 to 10 hours, depending on where in the U.S. you are going. Cool.
So
I just wasn't sure how the whole travel like between the rest of Europe and the UK, how hard it would be to get like if I'm in France, how hard it would be to go from France to the UK and then get on a flight there and fly out. That's why the whole, like you said, the whole travel thing didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
So we then get Dakota Kai versus Mia Yim. The winner gets to go to TakeOver Tampa for the women's ladder match to get a number 1 contendership thing. Mia wins, but then Raquel attacks after. I'm already tired of this. I'm already tired of Raquel and Dakota. Sorry.
No, I like it. I think it's cool.
I am. I'm tired of it.
I love it.
If this is the way every single one of Dakota's matches is going to go from here on out with Raquel getting involved or Raquel doing something, I'm over it. Sorry, I just am. We then get what I assume is a Killer Cross video. I think it's become more and more obvious. It's Killer Cross. It was a lot of the whole red X's and TikTok and the clock, and then it just panned to the clock at the end, and it was like... And then the clock was like dark.
She said Demon Girl and AEW Dark, and also kind of wants Mercedes Martinez in the ladder match. I have not seen it. No.
No,
I'll have to watch it. Now you said something.
So I think it's Killer Cross. I think he'll be here within the next couple weeks for TakeOver Tampa if they're still having.
Talk of the UK going to the phase before lockdown tomorrow. That's interesting.
Exciting.
I'm interested to see where we go with things. I know parts of the country here have shut down schools.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, we have like not really talked about it, so I have no idea what the plan is for us if we did it. So we'll see.
So I'm assuming Killer Cross is probably going to debut sometime within the next couple of weeks because I would assume they probably want to have him before TakeOver Tampa.
Yeah.
You know, assuming we still have TakeOver Tampa.
Yeah. Here's my thoughts. I don't think it's going to. I have a feeling that we are not going to have WrestleMania. Oh, this is interesting. Talking about sports. So, Nebraska coach Fred Hoiberg has been taken to the hospital. There's concern that Nebraska team is going to have to be quarantined. Knowing the severity of what's going on, allowing him to coach tonight was incredibly reckless by everyone in Nebraska. Yes, I agree.
I don't follow sports, so I don't know who those people are.
So that is interesting. He's a Nebraska basketball coach. That's like, pretty close to us.
Exciting. So,
Duke was shut down. They told us that's what's happening around here.
You can forgive Mania this year. I'm certain of it.
The colleges around here have been pretty much shut down. Their semester's done. They're gonna do a lot of online stuff, which is kind of weird because what do you do with foreigners that came here to go to school and now have no dorm to live in?
Yeah.
And they're kicked out.
So we then get Kushida versus Raul Mendoza. Okay, Kushida won. And then after, there's like a video of the parking lot. I didn't see exactly what happened, but Raul Mendoza,
Death Dakota County insurance policy.
Raul was essentially grabbed by these two masked guys and thrown in the back of a car.
Yes.
I don't know what this is leading to. I don't know what is happening with him. I'm a little curious, I suppose.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I'm curious to say the least. I'll definitely want to know what happened. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We then get a Tyler Breeze interview. He said that the PC was built... What? He said that the PC was what built us into stars. We didn't make the PC made us. Austin Theory then shows up and essentially is like, well, the PC's great, but unfortunately it really didn't make you into a star. Now did it? Oh, mic drop burn. And,
it's Lucha Nappers.
that was that. And so I'm assuming they're probably going to have a match next week or the week after. So. We then get Rhea. She says, if Charlotte Flair thinks she can psych me out before Mania, she needs to come up with a better game plan. Yeah, this is the biggest match in my career. But you know what gets me through it? Knocking the queen on her royal ass. Charlotte then comes out. She says, I'm going to be honest with you. You have guts. But this is WrestleMania. It's too much, too fast, too soon. This right here, and Charlotte, looks at herself, is too much for you. Charlotte and Rhea then beat each other up. Charlotte then does the figure 4 around the ring post. And that is that. So, whoop whoop. I saw the Tampa Bay Twitter page earlier stating there was a press conference tomorrow today for me regarding sporting events and likes getting canceled and postponed. I saw that there was a thing, they might be having another meeting, but I saw something where they hadn't said anything yet on whether or not Tampa was gonna.
I saw the Tampa Bay Twitter page earlier stating.
I just read that.
Oh, sorry. I was getting caught up on news information as it's flying out here in the United States with things that are potentially and possibly happening in the sports world as well as just the world in general.
I have tickets to Mania. If they cancel, I'm out.
I would assume that they're going to have to refund everybody.
If Mania doesn't happen, guess who won't care? Brock!
He might, because Vince might go, hey, Brock, you have to come back for the next WrestleMania next year.
Or in, a couple months when we have, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's going to suck, though, because all the everything that they have planned out, if they have to, postpone it, where do they go when they come back?
Well,
do they just pick up where they left off, or are they going to start over clean? I hope they don't, because I swear to you, I want Drew to beat Brock Lesnar so very bad. So, I feel like...
I don't know. The thing is...
But I saw someone on Twitter say, if they do have to cancel, and they have to cancel stuff for several months because of the virus and stuff, this might be a chance for WWE to start over fresh, start over clean, just hit the reset button, and, just reset. Start things over. Think of new stories. Because, I think... Why do I have a feeling
that would be Mania? Sorry.
If they do something stupid like that, it'll be stupid.
If NBA is canceling their season, then the Mania has no chance of going in. I would agree. I think probably what's going to happen is because the NBA canceled, you are about and colleges around here have been canceling. They've canceled classes. A lot of sports teams have said they won't play. They're going to play without fans in the stands, and now with players getting sick, I'm going to, and possibly coaches, I'm going to assume that everything is going to change. Just a guess.
I would say so, yeah.
Which is, I'm interested to see if we talk about anything at school tomorrow. And by if I'm talking my staff.
So we then get Tegan versus Dianna Perazzo. This is another qualifying match for the TakeOver Tampa.
James, we're not shutting down.
Ladder match.
We will come in and talk about anything. We may put on our own WrestleMania with 2K20.
Oh my gosh, that's such a genius idea, though. The weekend of WrestleMania, if there is no WrestleMania, we should do it, and then just take all the matches that they booked and all the matches that we think would have been booked, and just do our own WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Only it won't be 95 hours. That's for sure.
You're supposed to drink it, Maven.
See, I know. I was trying to drink it.
It's our first day in your mouth.
I was trying to drink it.
What do you think Paige is going to say on SmackDown? I don't know. Again, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with all of this that's going on. With the NBA shutting down, where is it going to go with like, the wrestling events.
Yeah. So Tegan won this match. She gets to advance on to the ladder match. I'm assuming there's probably going to be some Dakota interference, which is why Tegan is not going to win.
Is Mania going to be canceled?
Don't know, man.
As of right now, no, but I'm going to guess that if the NBA is shutting down, that you're going to see Wrestlemania shut down.
It's huge if NBA shuts down for a bit.
Yeah.
We then got Undisputed Era. Dream's music hits. He says, right now, we have 4 men sitting in the ring. But Dream has his 3 eyes set on one. Adam Cole. I never cared about Roddy. It was always about Cole. Cole then goes on to say, you lost last week. You haven't earned a damn thing. You sure haven't earned a title shot for the NXT Championship. I don't think so, man. Don't think so. We then get Broserweights versus Undisputed Era for the Tag Team Championships. The ref ends up throwing Adam and Roddy out after Pete Dunne plays possum and pretends to get hit by Roddy. The Bros retain. We then get told we're getting Adam Cole next week for a celebration of becoming the longest reigning NXT champion. We are also getting Candice versus Mercedes Martinez in another qualifying match. And Finn is going to be live on NXT UK tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's gonna make everybody want to tune in there because Finn Balor's gonna be on it.
What does that mean for the Hall of Fame? I don't know. Maybe they'll do it.
Maybe they won't.
Maybe they'll do it without fans. I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go with all this stuff. Yeah, do the Mania card on Twitch. I'll watch. Paige will challenge Bayley. I guarantee it.
I don't think so. Paige hasn't been cleared to wrestle, and I don't think she's going to.
Not a fan of Mia and Green advancing, to be honest. I was okay with it.
Green is a little questionable. Mia, I'm okay with Mia moving on to the match.
They brought her in with, like, her valet and
but again,
it
makes no sense to me because she doesn't mean anything because she lost 45 matches in a row before winning this one stupid match to advance. Tell me something. Do they hate Dianna Perazzo or what? I don't know, man. I thought they were going to do a tag team thing with her and Green, but apparently not. They split them up. They're not doing a tag team thing. Green is doing who knows what with her stupid valet. And, like, Dianna's doing nothing, obviously. So, I don't know what the purpose of splitting them up was because they were doing better as a tag team than they were as singles.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's actually called COVID-19. I will do Wrestlemania with my little cousin's stuffed animals, LOL, and I want Mercedes Martinez in it. And I think Io is going to be hit in it and win.
I agree.
You ruined it, Jordan. I was going to watch, and now you told me what the outcome
I agree with you there. I think Io is going to be in it, and I think Io is going to win.
It should have been Dakota. Dianna Perazzo is really great. I just hope they use her more.
Agreed. Every time Dianna wrestles, she loses. Exactly. Which is why it makes no sense as to, like, what are you doing with her, guys? What are you doing? So we then get the best segment on the show. This was epic. This was a total, like, they just knocked it out of the park with this. I thought this was so good. I know a lot of people going into this were complaining about Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano again for the 45th time. But man, oh man, when these two guys get together, it's like literal magic. It's so good. And they had a 10-minute brawl all around the Performance Center, and it was epic. So, Ciampa comes out, says, Johnny, don't know if you're listening, but you promised to tell these people why you did it. Johnny shows up on the screen. He says, it seems everyone has forgotten the last 3 years. You leave for 6 months, and everyone forgives you. Ciampa then gets up while Johnny is speaking, and he ends up going back, finding Johnny, and then just, like, threw him around the building. It was epic. They broke mirrors. They broke doors. They fell off of the giant thing, and it just, like, went splat, and the table was just, like, pow, and I was like, oh. It was epic. It was epic, man. And it was epic. This is what pushed NXT over the edge for me.
Yes.
Was this segment right here. It was so very good. And these two guys, like I said, every time they get in the ring together, it is literal magic. Like, honestly, it was so good. And I loved it.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, my language. I will do WrestleMania with my, where do you go? Every time, sorry, my language, epic meltdown, I wonder how Triple H's feeling when he was watching them destroying the PC. He was like, man, you just as well, because we're not going to be on for the next couple weeks. I'm kidding. They'll be back. Okay, folks, time to hit the hay night. Good night, Colin. Stay safe. Stay away from the virus. And if you can find some sanitizer, toilet paper, or water, go out and buy it. I think Finn might take the title from Walter. Possibly. I'd like to see him bring Walter over to either NXT or bring him to the main roster. Would have Paige bring Nia Jax Twitter? I would.
But I was literally just scrolling through Twitter.
By the way, PW Insider says SD will be broadcast at the PC this week. I would not be shocked if they don't start doing more of that.
I was just scrolling through Twitter, I was trying to find the article where somebody said...
Were they supposed to be at the PC?
No, they were supposed to be in Detroit.
So
there's a couple people that are like wrestling newscaster people. One said WWE's canceling SmackDown in Detroit and broadcasting from the Performance Center. Another said WWE is relocated this week SmackDown to broadcast live from the Performance Center. So
Detroit, Michigan. Yeah, I'm wondering, if they've moved it, they may just go with everything from the PC Center. They may do WrestleMania from the PC Center.
Yeah, I'm seeing more. WWE reportedly moving this week's SmackDown to Performance Center due to coronavirus. I'm not shocked. It's a smaller spot, and if you can keep people in a smaller area.
Yeah.
So, update on Nick Jackson. He's responsive at the hospital, but ruled out indefinitely. Okay. Well, that was very descriptive. Very great.
Yes.
So, at least SmackDown will have a live crowd for once. They're going to have WrestleMania in Vince's backyard. Vince's backyard is probably big enough to have WrestleMania, honestly. So,
All right, so here's the new information. So Nebraska's basketball coach was taken to the hospital. Nebraska's men's basketball team is not leaving Bankers Life Arena. They were brought their food outside the locker room. They are not letting people back to the area now. I just walked back to the area here, and they told me no one from Nebraska will be made available to talk to.
Exciting.
So we are looking at the possibility of another big name person or athlete getting sick.
Well, and then
I did see where there was a soccer player that has tested positive for the coronavirus also.
Tom Hanks.
Oh, Tom Hanks also has a coronavirus.
And his wife.
And his wife, yes.
And I think they said they're in Australia or something.
Yes, they're in Australia.
So, I mean, everybody's getting it.
Yes.
I'm not leaving my house.
I have to leave the house because I have a job.
Sorry, don't bring me the coronavirus. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Don't bring me the coronavirus. Sean Ross Sapp, who's fairly reliable, said SmackDown's been moved to the WWE Performance Center, and I'm told WWE's considering this for several upcoming events.
Yep. WrestleMania at the Performance Center.
Which I wouldn't be
opposed to. So if you don't hear from me
Matt.
for a while, you know why. Well, nice. Hey, thanks, James. We appreciate it.
Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to it if we're still getting WrestleMania, and it's just at the PC. It's a smaller. It doesn't really, as long as it's televised.
Yeah.
Which it would be. So, I would not have a problem with that.
Yeah.
If they did WrestleMania at the Performance Center. Now, obviously, it'd probably be better if they just canceled it straight up, but,
Yeah.
If it still goes on, I'm still going to watch it. Just saying. not gonna not watch it, because I'd be dumb.
Yeah. We'll watch it if it's on.
Yes, I will.
And if not, we'll make up our own Wrestlemania.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pandemic. Yes, it is, James. It is a pandemic. Hopefully, it slows down. No, I'm kidding. You don't get rid of me that easily. The whole thing about this is what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think it's like the flu, or is this worse than the flu? I mean, we don't shut down.
I was gonna say, my thought process on this is, do we shut stuff? Yeah, exactly. Do we shut stuff down for the flu? Because if this was just like the flu, then I don't think the NBA would have canceled all their games. I don't think the NBA would have shut down entirely. I don't think schools left and right would be closing. I don't think colleges would be closing. So I don't think it's like the flu. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And it also may or may not be facts. But I don't think it's like the flu. Just saying. That's just what I think. Like, we have vaccines for the flu, and there are like no vaccines for this, which is why it's like a bigger deal, because like anyone and everyone can get it. And
Yeah.
It might be milder for some people, but for someone like me, if I was to get it, it could be like really bad, because
okay, I was going, but now we're talking about it. I'm not.
At first I thought it was an overreaction, but then the thing hit our area.
So it hit your area. How bad does it hit your area? Because.
But like I was saying, it might not be as serious for someone who is like perfectly healthy and fine, but like for some people, like myself, I have a lowered immune system.
Well, here's the thing.
I have to be careful anyways, but like with this is like such a bigger deal than.
I think it's worse than the flu. For me, I don't generally watch the news because I just hate the news because I don't like what they tell me. But I've been watching the news lately. But I also get my information from other sources. I look at the World Health Organization. I look at our CDC. So I look at all of that and look at what they're putting out. And based on numbers, based strictly on statistics, I have people tell me that this is just the flu. And I'm like, okay, but there's a higher death rate of this. My sister works at a hospital and they have 10 people there with the virus. So how are they? Because has she talked to you about it? I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world. LOL. Not yet, anyway.
But like I don't know. I think it is a bigger deal than some people want to make it out to be.
Well, I think it's one of those things that
I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like a denial thing.
Over here, so we're not treating it lightly, obviously.
I don't know if it's like a denial thing where people don't want to believe that it's super serious, or if it's like they just don't think it's super serious, or what the deal is. But I think people need to take it. So
were the people there calling? Were they older people? Because and I've seen more stuff coming out where they're talking about they're making a bigger deal. Wasn't like this with the H1N1. No, and that's why I'm thinking that this this whole thing may be worse than. This might be one of the worst things that we've had come around. Well, 3 of those people died, and they were older folks. See, the thing is, and I've seen people go, oh, well, no big deal, it's just older folks. Well, do you want your grandma or your grandpa or your mom or dad to die because of this? And that's one of the things that I'm seeing is, well, the old people are going to die anyway. There's old people that live to be 105. Do you want them dying at 65 because of this thing that's come up? One person who was in their 50s. I have seen I've seen more where there's been a few younger people, and I've seen anywhere from about 40 to 65-ish, with the average age being about 60, 65.
See, and that's just like the majority of people that have gotten it thus far. And it's not like it's everywhere yet.
Well, and that's why I think they've contained it pretty well. The problem is like in Italy, and Colin, you might hear more about this than us. Like in Italy with the issues they're having there, where they have no beds, and they have to decide. You know, I've seen stories where doctors are deciding who to help and who not to help based on the possibility of them living or not living. And I know I read a story today where a doctor said, you know, I had a 40-year-old that's, you know, a healthy 40-year-old. I had to make a choice between helping a healthy 40-year-old, a 40-year-old that has asthma, and a 55-year-old that has something else. As for tomorrow, they're likely canceling all sporting events. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen here too. I would say all sporting events tomorrow, and anything that has a crowd is probably going to be stopped.
I'm scrolling through Twitter. This is funny.
That is funny. 2020 is a bad year already. Yeah, just lots of things happening. The governor in Washington State made it mandatory that cannot be 250 people per gathering. Yes, and that's what Ohio did too. I think the NCAA tournament's going to get canceled. I know Connecticut's canceled their high school state basketball championships. And I think there was another state that did the same thing. So there's a lot going on with this. And it's just a matter of how long it'll last. How long this is going to stay up. I've seen where people say this could last 2 or 3 months.
And if it like spreads and you know you have it in this one spot and then it's you know there's like a billion different places that you know in the US that it can spread to.
Yeah.
Which is where like it might last longer if it's not contained properly, you know? Which is, you know, like that could be forever, you know.
Yeah, that's just it. I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't think anybody does.
Yum, sparkling water.
Yes, at least you hit your mouth that time.
I did.
And New York, they quarantined New York, and they called in the National Guard. Yes, they did. I think that was more to try and make sure that people weren't like trying to leave. Just a thought on that. All right. I don't know. Does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about?
Any other thoughts? Any other ideas? Any other anything? I'm checking Twitter. I'm not seeing much of anything else.
Oh, no way.
What? Sorry. Trying to stay away.
That's OJ. You know the OJ chase, right?
Uh-huh.
That's him like that's his car with all the police cars behind it when he was being chased and followed. I do think there's been quite a lot of hysteria though, and that's not me fobbing it off. I think there's been a lot of hysteria, but I think a lot of it is because like I don't think there's a lot out there, and I think Italy.
Because it's literally the dumbest school.
Jordan, my school is still open too, so don't feel bad. I still have to go teach. I think that the biggest issue is if you take a look at what's happened in Italy where they have no beds, they got overwhelmed like quick. It wasn't, the story I read is the story I had read was that this doctor was trying to decide if he wanted to tell everybody about, what was happening in Italy, and he decided he was going to because he just felt he had to. And he said, like, a week ago we were a normal hospital, and now we're like a triage unit where we have to decide on who we're going to try and save and who we're not. Mine was shut down for like 4 days, so Italy's on total lockdown. Yeah. And that's I think that because they're getting hammered, which makes me, wonder about everything that's, it's just starting here. Talk about Dakota. North Dakota? South Dakota? I don't know anything after that. Schools are being shut down around the world. Yeah.
My little sister's school just emailed saying they're closed for 2 weeks. Mine was shut down for like 4 days.
Which is interesting.
Italy is on total lockdown, and I think we're headed that way too.
It takes 14 days to they're saying at least 14 days. I've seen anywhere from 14 to 30 days that this could be incubate and so 4 days doesn't seem like a big deal, and 2 weeks doesn't seem like a big deal. My friend is in Italy. She can't get out. I actually had one of our teachers, her daughter was over there on for college. She was scheduled to come back Friday. They put no flying. You couldn't fly out of Italy. And this was Italy doing their thing. Like, you can't fly out of Italy. Luckily, they did get a flight out of Italy tonight. So they did get a flight out tonight. So one of my teachers, one of my coworkers, is having her daughter is flying in tonight. They're picking her up, and then they are quarantined now for 14 days. NXT's in the PC from now on. I think everything will be in the PC from now on until further notice. Why does 2020 got to start off like this, man? Hey, just think think about this. We are a fourth of the way through 2020. We're 9 months away from Christmas.
It's crazy.
It seems like we just had Christmas, doesn't it?
Mhm.
I mean, it's just weird.
You know what else? You know what else is real close?
What?
We're 10 days away from my birthday.
Yes, we're 10 days away from Maven's birthday.
Mhm. So excited.
Yes. We don't know, man. Dakota Kai. James wants to talk about Dakota Kai. That is funny. That's hilarious. All right, I think we're going to take off now that we've, talked about nothing for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It all started in
Well,
China.
I mean, we had 7 people in here.
It did, James. Let's blame China.
We don't know, man.
It's all their fault.
Actually, it's like Bat's fault or something. Some animal that started with a P. I can't remember what it's called.
Okay, folks, I'm out this time. MJF won by the hammerlock. Yes, he did. All right, we're going to take off. We'll be back on Friday. We'll see what we got. See what happens. If for some reason they don't have stuff, we'll still show up and we'll talk. So if you want to come in and just talk about
nothing. Talk about so
come join us. If not, well, we'll just talk to ourselves and we'll be cool with that.
Well, I mean, we have 45 billion action
figures. No SmackDown, It's coming from bats. It's coming from different animals. Because you can get it from an animal. You can give it to an animal. All right, with that, we're out. You guys are awesome. You rock. We will be back on a Friday with SmackDown. If they have a SmackDown. On Thursday, they said SmackDown canceled. On Thursday.
What?
Dude, it's Wednesday.
SmackDown is supposedly...
Elijah is psychic.
SmackDown is supposedly gonna be...
The funny thing is, Elijah, I just saw a thing saying that the NCAA basketball tournament was canceled, and the date on it was tomorrow's date. So, I think it was...
happy birthday.
Not that it won't be shut down. That they won't, not do it, but we'll see. I think you're going to see lots of tournaments, lots of basketball games, totally shut down. And we are going to take off. You guys take care. We are out. Peace out.